Yay! Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Maggie O here with Homeschool with Maggie O, your homeschool mentor. I'm so glad you're joining. If you're not joining live, you'll see this replay, and I'm glad you're here. I'm going to check a couple of things real quick. I just want to make sure I can see comments coming in. I was having issues earlier today. Facebook loves to challenge us when we do live sometimes. And I'm going to also open my phone because that might help me. And I have y'all know I had laryngitis. So I am doing my Manuka honey filled drops while I talk so that I don't choke on you. So I'm going to put that in right now. But I hope your day has been going really well today. I'm feeling a lot better today, even though my voice, it's still hard to talk for very long. That's good. So let's get this on my phone so I can see your comments coming in as well. There we go. Awesome. Okay. I'm seeing the live now. So I apologize. I'm going to be sucking on this cough drop. So I'm curious. This is our series, What's the Perfect Curriculum? The live series that I'm doing on this subject because we hear it over and over again. And have you ever had someone tell you, oh, you have to use this curriculum? My kids absolutely loved it. So you go out and you spend the money, you wait for it to arrive, and you excitedly open the box. It's here. I can't wait to open this. And you start the first lesson, and within a week, you're wondering, well, what is wrong with my child? Or maybe you're wondering, what is wrong with me? Something is not right here. So, can I encourage you today? Most of the time, nothing is wrong with either one of you. The curriculum simply may not match the way your child naturally learns. And that's why I cringe a little bit every time I hear someone ask in our groups or among homeschoolers, what's the best homeschool curriculum? Because all I can think about is before I can even answer that question, I have about 20 questions that I want to ask them. It's just not that simple. Tell me about your child. What are their strengths? What frustrates them? Do they love to read? Do they need to move? Like, as in movement? They need movement? Do they need to do some special exercises? Routine, as common breaks through the day? Do they love to talk through everything? Do they learn best by seeing, hearing, or doing? Because the answers to those questions matter far more than the name printed on the front of a curriculum box. Let's be honest, okay? Does this make sense? So, today we're going to talk about learning styles. And I hope by the end of this live, you'll understand why two children can use the exact same curriculum and have completely different experiences. And I think that's one of the most freeing things a homeschool parent can discover. It can really lift a huge weight right off your chest. So, over the past two lives, we explored different homeschool philosophies. And hopefully by now, you're beginning to see that there isn't just one best way to homeschool. And remember, I said early on that anytime I mention any of this, there is no judgment with this. I'm simply trying to relay the information to you and in a non judgment way so that you can openly figure out, does that sound like you? And does that sound like your family? Does that sound like a routine that your family would strive with? Because that's important. So today we're going to take that next step. I'm so sorry I have to suck on this. Because even if you've chosen a homeschool philosophy that fits your family, you can still struggle if your curriculum doesn't match your how your child learns. or you're not teaching it to the way they learn. So think about it this way. Imagine buying the world's best pair of shoes, and if they're two sizes too small, they're still not the right shoes. Curriculum works the same way. A curriculum be absolutely wonderful, but if it doesn't fit the way your child naturally learns, homeschooling becomes frustrating for everyone, and you create this chaotic type of environment, which is not what we're trying to do. So today we're going to explore the four primary learning styles and how they can influence your curriculum choices when you're looking at different types of curriculum. So my first question is how materials they notice details others miss. They like neat organization. So curricula tips for those type of learners, visual learners, they often do well with curriculum that includes colorful layouts, illustrations, timelines, graphic organizers, videos, maps, and charts. Does this sound like one of your children? Type visual in the comments if you're thinking, yep, that's my kiddo. The second type that we're going to talk about today, and I keep looking down because I'm also checking my phone for comments. So the second type that we're going to look at today is the auditory learners. And some children, they learn best by just hearing the information. And these students or learners, they often enjoy discussions. They can talk it all out. They love read alouds, audio books, lectures, and they can regurgitate from what the lecture said to them. They like to ask questions and they like to talk through ideas. So many auditory learners actually remember what they hear better than what they read. What they hear better than what they read. So they may even talk to themselves while solving problems. Have you seen this before? Signs your child may be an auditory learner, loves conversations, they enjoy storytelling, learns quickly from listening, likes podcasts and audiobooks, and can explain ideas verbally before writing them. So think about that. Does that sound like your learner? Maybe it sounds like you. So for curriculum tips, these learners often thrive when you include things like family discussions and narration, read aloud times, educational videos, memory songs, which is a big one, and verbal instruction. Sometimes simply reading directions aloud instead of handing them a worksheet makes all the difference if they can just hear you explain it. The third learning style is the kinesthetic learners, and these are children who learn by doing. They like to use their hands. They want to be in there. They want to be doing it. Even if they've never done it before, they'd rather you tell them and talk them through it and let them try it out themselves with their hands. And if you've ever had a child who couldn't sit still, who needed movement, who wanted to build instead of read, you may have a kinesthetic learner. These children often remember experiences better than lectures. So think about that, the experience better than just a lecture being told to them. And they need their hands involved typically. They enjoy experiments like science labs. Oh my goodness, they love them. Manipulatives for math, building things, field trips, movement, cooking, nature study, and crafts. So a little bit of curriculum tips for these learners is hands-on math, science labs, building projects, games, interactive learning, movement breaks. One of the biggest mistakes parents make is assuming these children aren't paying attention. So I caution you that big time. Sometimes they're learning the entire lesson while standing upside down on a couch. True story. I kid you not. They're moving so much, you're thinking, how can you possibly be taking in and retaining what I'm talking to you about? And you're not paying attention. It couldn't be further from the truth. I've learned that sometimes moving actually improves their learning instead of distracting from it. And if you're the type of learner yourself that doesn't learn that way, that's a hard one to wrap your brain around. And I'm speaking from personal experience because I just thought, there's no way they're getting what I'm saying. But they actually are when you start to hear them talk it out after the fact. You'd be shocked what they retain and what they noticed. Who has one of those kids? So the fourth one is a mixed learner. And here's something that surprises many parents. Most children aren't just one learning style. They're most usually are an actual blend. Most of us are. Maybe your child is mostly visual, but also loves hands-on science. Or perhaps they're auditory, but enjoy drawing while they listen. Learning styles aren't labels. They're clues. They're simply helping us understand how our children process information most naturally. So, some important reminders to keep in mind. And I also want to encourage you with something. Learning styles are helpful, but they aren't boxes. Don't overthink. My child is visual, so we can never use anything else. Children grow and they mature and they develop new skills. So sometimes we intentionally stretch them outside of their comfort zone because that's part of learning too. So think of learning styles as just your guide. It's just a guide. It's not a limitation. It's not a box that you have to put them in. And so pulling this all together, now we think back to our last two lives. First, we learned about homeschooling philosophies. Now we've learned about learning styles. Can you already see why one curriculum recommendation doesn't work for every family? When that question is asked over and over again, and I totally get the question. I'm not saying I don't. But do you see why I talk about being a loaded question? A curriculum that works beautifully for my family may completely frustrate yours. And not because it's bad, but because it's not the right fit. And that's okay. And that's exactly why we're walking through this process together. So, next time we're going to talk about something that many families ask me about, and that is how do ADHD, dyslexia, autism, giftedness, and other unique learning needs influence curriculum choices? Because I know that I get asked this all the time. And this is one of the areas that I'm most passionate about because I've seen firsthand how choosing the right approach can completely change a child's confidence. So today's live, I hope it encouraged you, but be sure to share it with another homeschool parent who keeps asking, what's the best curriculum? Because now you know the best curriculum is the one that fits your child in your home. And I hope that helps. I will start coming in with some other recordings and videos actually highlighting different curriculums. And again, that is not to judge or to say, putting it in front of you going, this is the best one. I'm not doing that. I'm going to review curriculums for you, probably through video because I can also go to the website from my phone and you can see that on my phone through the video and be able to go to those sites so that you too can benefit from that. But I really do hope this is like the number one question that homeschoolers are asking. What's the best curriculum? What curriculum should I choose? And it's not a simple answer. And for those of you who have heard this, I hope you can share that with other homeschoolers. And it should reassure all of us that we're all unique and we are blessed with special gifts, all of us. So why would we think that a certain curriculum would be the best for any one certain child? It's just not a thing. So I hope that helps you, and I'll see you next time. Happy homeschooling. Have a great rest of your week. See you next time.